Hi there, and welcome back to Boundaries Unleashed. I'm your host, Vicky, and today we're diving into one of the trickiest parts of boundary work, and that is what to do when your no is not enough. You know, the pushy people. That moment you've already said no, maybe even twice, and the other person still isn't backing down. And all of a sudden you feel guilty, you're starting to second guess yourself, and just wondering if it's just easier to give in, because it definitely feels that way sometimes. And if you're a recovering people pleaser or a highly empathetic woman, this probably sounds familiar, almost too familiar, right? So today we are talking about why pushy people don't take no for an answer. We're going to be talking about the patterns that show up in personal, professional, and family situations. And most importantly, how to stand firm in your no when you're feeling guilty and how to eliminate that guilt. And so you can also eliminate the need or the feeling of the need to explain yourself all the time. And at the end, I've also want to give you guys a free resource that will make this so much easier in real time. And it's called Your No Made Simple. It's a free PDF guide. I'll give you more information about that later. And of course, I'm going to have it in the show notes, but it's going to be filled with phrases that you can use right away. So I take all the guesswork out of it. So let's get into it. So why pushy people don't stop? And I know we all have those people out there, right? But here's the thing. Pushy people, they exist and they don't stop because when you say no and someone keeps pushing, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's not because you're saying no wrong. It's because pushy people are banking on two things. They are banking on your hesitation and your conditioning. So they sense within you, whether it be your energetic or your mannerisms, if they can push a little harder, they're going to see if you'll fold. And, they're not wrong, right? Especially as women, we've been really conditioned and taught to be polite, helpful, agreeable, and not difficult, if you know what I mean. And especially if you're an empath, like you don't just hear their disappointment when you say no, you actually feel it like in your body. And that makes it 10 times harder not to cave in. But I want you to listen when I say this. No is powerful and their discomfort isn't your responsibility. Your no protects your time, it protects your peace, and it protects your energy, all of which are sacred. So let's talk about what it looks like in practice. Because sometimes we don't even know that we realize someone's being pushy until after the fact. And so what does that look like, say, in your personal life? This looks like when you have a friend who really pressures you to go out when you don't want to go out, or if you just really need to rest. It can look like someone insisting you share personal details when you're not ready yet. That person's like, come on, you can trust me. Just go ahead. We're in a safe space, whatever they want to say, but they're just kind of pressuring and pushing you to say more when you're not ready. And it can also look like if you say no and they come back with, oh, come on, just for a little while, or don't be such a party pooper. These are real life examples. This is how you can tell if you're being pushed around or if you're around pushy people in your personal life. Now, work is going to look a little different. It's going to feel similar, but it's going to look a little different. It's going to look like, a boss who emails you at 9 p.m. and they're expecting a response, right? They're being real pushy with your time and your energy and your attention. It can look like, a colleague who slides extra tasks your way because you're, quote, you're so reliable. It could also look like maybe it's your clients who ignore your boundaries and you try and they just keep trying to get one more thing or just one more thing for free or at the expense of your free time. So again, pushy people are everywhere and they may be even really close to home. It could be even in your family. The relatives who guilt you into attending an event that you don't want to go to. It can look like a parent or a sibling who ignores your no because that's just how our family works. You know the deal, right? Or the classic, but everyone else is doing it, so why can't you? I've heard that one before. It's horrible. So there's pushy people everywhere. The kicker is, and what gets me about pushy people is that the most common time that we get pressured, as women get pressured, is when we're already giving, when we're already extending the extra mile, when we're already doing above and beyond people see that and they're like, if she's giving this, I can get more, right? That's when they're going to test your conditioning. That's when they're going to test you, right? And, this happens around big holidays. It can happen around big family gatherings. It can happen around work deadlines, right? And it's usually when we're already stretched thin. Now, why do we, as recovering people pleasers, struggle to hold the line? Why is it hard for us to stay firm in our no? One is because guilt creeps in. It feels really guilty to tell someone no and visibly see that they're upset, right? And we really worry about letting people down. We don't want to let people down. We don't want people disappointed in us. We've been conditioned to be nice, agreeable, the peacekeeper, right? So it's really hard for us to hold and be firm with our no when we contradict those identifiable traits or labels that we've either given ourselves or other people have given us. And honestly, it's because we're empaths, right? We literally feel the other person's discomfort and we want to make that go away for them. And we do that by going against our own discomfort, right? We prioritize theirs over our own. So I want to give you a few tools and strategies to overcome not giving in to pushy people, all right? So let's do the first one being the broken record technique. Toddlers are great with this. They're going to keep asking why. So this is when you just calmly repeat yourself, kindly repeat your boundary without changing it. It's very important that you stay it the same, right? Don't word it a different way, word it the same way. And, a prime example of this is I hear you and my answer is still no. And you just keep repeating that. I hear you, but my answer is still no. It works because you're not giving them any new information to argue with or to try to challenge you on or trying to negotiate from you, right? You just keep it simple and you just keep repeating yourself. So the broken record technique. Secondly, anchoring into your why. Because before you even say no, it's always good to remind yourself what you are protecting. Why are you saying no in the first place, right? You're protecting your peace. You're protecting your energy. Maybe your time with your kids, maybe time with your partner, maybe time to just take a nap and rest. So that reminder will give you more motivation and more strength to say no. So anchoring into your why really, really helps. Thirdly, energetic visualization. This one's for my sensitive souls. So imagine a glowing shield around you. And just as you're saying no, like nothing is going to penetrate that golden protection that you've created, that energetic shield, that bubble. All right. You're not going to allow anyone to kind of creep in. You're going to stand empowered in that. So their reaction is going to hit the shield, right? It's going to be protected and it's going to bounce away. And this is going to help you stay grounded into your energy. It's going to help you become that broken record. It's going to help you ground into your why. It's really going to help you stay consistent. So again, that someone else can't persuade you otherwise. Someone can't push you over into another decision that you don't want to make. So this energetic visual of this force field around you is really, really key and important too. And then fourthly, you want to use short scripted phrases. So this is where the magic happens, right? This is the pull it out of your pocket. I've got a comeback ready to go because the pushback's coming, right? You know that no one likes to hear no. And when they do, especially if they're used to you caving, they're going to try and push for a different answer. So just having these scripted go-to phrases, you're going to be more in the power seat here, right? And people thrive on explanations. So if you don't give them one, they have no power to stand on. So you give them less words, more clarity. So a few examples of this looks like, that doesn't work for me. Thanks for understanding. That's a nice power phrase that you can just pull out of your pocket. Another one you can use, especially in the workplace area, is I can't take that on right now, but here's what I can do. Right? These are very simple phrases that you can just pull up, no explanation needed. And again, it doesn't offer details that are unnecessary, and it doesn't give them a gateway to try to push their way through. All right? It's very simple. And with your family, it can just be like, I love you, but I won't be doing that. So these are all different kind of scripted phrases that can be super helpful, especially if you just have them ready to go. And lastly, you just want to practice all of these things. Practice the broken record. Practice these go-to phrases, right? We want to do this in low-stake environments. It's always easier to say no to, a stranger on the street or, the barista at the coffee bar than it is to say maybe your parent or your partner or even your kid or something like that. So just practice with low key and it becomes like a muscle that strengthens over time, and it becomes easier and easier and more second nature. So that way, when the stakes are higher, you're ready to go, you're more prepared, and you feel more secure in your response. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Pushy people will always exist. They're always going to be out there, right? But your no doesn't have to collapse under pressure. You can stand strong in your power. Every time you hold firm, you're not just protecting your peace, you're showing others how to respect you. Now, if this episode is hitting home, I want to make this even easier for you. I've created a guide, and it's called Your No Made Simple. So remember those go-to phrases I talked about earlier? This guide that I made is chocked full of them that you can just pull and use the ones that work for you. And I've got different examples of personal, professional, relationships, all of that you can use. And I have it all written out for you. So Your No Made Simple. It's a free guide. It's packed with ready to use scripts. So again, for your personal, your professional, or even family situations. And I even offered a spiritual reframe in there for you to really help you release the guilt, because that's always the number one thing that comes up when we start saying no, especially to people that we value in our life, is the guilt will come in. So there's a nice little reframe that I've added to the guide that's really going to support you as well. And this guide is pretty much like having me in your back pocket. So it's like call a coach, right? Instant coach. You can just pull these phrases out and you know that they're going to be effective and they're going to support you. And I'm giving it to you for free. So why not, girl? Use it, grab it, take it, run with it. Here we go. All right. And you can grab that for free on my website. I'll even put the link in the show notes for you. It's just at www.mytimemama.com/Your No Made Simple. So it's a free guide. You just opt in for it. It'll hit your inbox instantly. All right. So with all this, remember, pushy people exist, but they don't have to push you around in your life. I've got a guide to help you. You can say no. I know you've got this. So remember, your no is sacred. Your no is enough. And the more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. All right. So thank you for tuning in, guys. If this episode really resonated for you, share it with a friend who struggles to say no or has a lot of pushy people in their life or the high empaths in your life. This is really going to be a valuable tool for them, both this episode and the guide. So share the love freely, my friends. With that in mind, I'll close this episode out. It's been a pleasure to connect with you as always. And always remember, love yourself like you mean it. Catch you next time.